Today I'm really excited to share my newest obsession with you, collage rolls. So if you want to know how to make these and find out what materials you can use, just keep on watching. Welcome, this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria, and this is your channel for vintage inspired art. So I was introduced to this trend by my friend Ray recently, who made some collages on receipts like these here, your regular receipts. And she glued these into one big roll, so she would attach, you know, the next one and the next one just by gluing them together, and then she would collage on them. And I was so intrigued, and I searched on Instagram for more of these, and I found that most people were doing them actually on transparent paper. So just like regular transparent paper. And one of the Instagram accounts that I found who did this was from Takako, who is Little Pink Sheep on Instagram, and I will link her account name below. And naturally I wanted to try my own version of this. So you can use any kind of paper you want for this. The important thing is that you just make strips. You cut them the same width, and then you glue them one after the other. So options that I have found besides the receipts and the transparent paper are, for example, some regular like baking paper or parchment paper. I think that would be pretty cool. You could of course also just use your scraps from your scrapbooks from a 12 by 12. You could use music sheets, which would be really lovely. In this case, I would probably cut them like this and then just attach one after the other. Another interesting one could be map paper. Of course, your regular book page would be awesome as well, especially if you have like double pages, then you could make long strips and then attach them to each other. And finally, what I think would be really cool, what I think I'm going to try in this video, is some patterned paper. I mean, like for clothes patterns. I mean, I think some of us have that. Sewing paper, is that what it's called? Because it's already pretty big, and I think this makes a really lovely background for collages. So I think I want to try that. And maybe I'll also try this parchment paper. That looks very intriguing to me as well. So let me show you the ones that I did last night. So what I've seen, usually people roll them up and then tie them with a twine. And I think the idea is that then you can just kind of pull them, like leaving the twine on, and then just kind of roll them down and then tear them off. Well, that's not working for me, but it is practical to keep it closed like this. So I still have mine on a roll that I haven't used yet. So I was lucky enough to find this roll at my Goodwill a couple months ago, or many months ago. That was before the pandemic. And now I finally found a really cool use for it. So if you can find one of these, that would be easier, of course, because then you don't have to cut them into strips. You don't have to glue them together. Also, at the end of this video, I'd like to show you how we can best use these in our journals. There's so many options. So let me just show you the 4 that I've done last night in my typical style. Adding some copper gilding wax, just little touches, adding some ink, I think they are so fun. They are super addictive. And when you need them, you just tear them off and you put them on whatever you want to put them on. So super fun, super easy. Perfect way to use up all those little scraps. I just love it. So I want to start off by trying to do a couple using this parchment paper. So I'm going to fold it. Actually, I'll fold it this way because it rolls up this way anyway. So I would just fold it to the width that I want it. I'll do it about like that. Try to make sure it's kind of straight. Make a good crease here. And I think the easiest way would be to just use our letter opener and to just go in there and tear it. And there's our strip to work on. If I want to have more, then I would just tear another one and then glue them one onto each other to continue the roll. I put some white paper underneath so you can see better what I'm doing here. So the thing is, you make individual collages. It's not like a snippet roll where you have a continuous kind of collage going on. We're just going to do individual small collages. So I'm going to start off by adding just some like base papers, you could say. Small doilies are great for this, I think. And then I'm just gonna look for some more different kind of background papers to add. Of course, you don't have to do this vintage at all, but I think vintage is really fun, as you know. I'm now looking for some other bits. Here's one. This is a stamp that I have. Really fun. And as always, like with every collage, you need to then think about what could your focal point be, because you do want something to stand out in this. You don't just want background papers. So you just want to have some interesting elements. And I know we all have so many of these. So I'm sure you can find something. This is from a newspaper. Numbers are always cool, you know that. So I'm kind of just building up my layers here. We want lots of different layers. You know I love my cheesecloth, so yep, I'm gonna add that too. See, this piece here is just from a punch, and yeah, don't throw it away. You can use it in little collages. It can be a little bit tricky to deal with all these small pieces because they do tend to move around a lot. So I'm really starting to like this already. So I think I can glue this down and then maybe add a few more things. I think it's the easiest to use the art glitter glue just because the tip is so easy to work with and it's just the right amount of glue coming out and it's just great. And I am going to glue from the top down, which I find easiest for these little pieces. So I take my top piece and I put glue on that. And I glue that down. But actually, I don't glue it where it's on the parchment paper because we first need to glue some of the other layers. Otherwise, of course, you just take a photo of your collage and then you can easily reproduce what you had. Since I am filming with my phone, it's kind of hard to do that. It takes practice. This top-down method really takes practice, at least for me. I was struggling with this for quite a long time. Gotta be honest. Okay, I think all the pieces are actually attached to each other. So then it's easy, of course, to just attach the whole thing. So give this method a try if you haven't yet. So that's what we have so far. We could add a little bit of Tim Holtz washi That always works. I do like to add a little bit of glue on my washi as well because it's not gonna hold very well. And I have these tiny butterflies and dragonflies that I cut out from a Digital Collage Club print. I'll write the name of this download in the description box for you as well, and I do have discount codes for the Digital Collage Club if you're interested. So let me see if I can find one that is gonna work well here. I like it right there, but I'm kind of thinking it doesn't really have a focal point yet. Not really. I mean, this, of course, the numbers here stand out most, but it's not a real focal point. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to add another kind of focal point or a word or something. I have these here from Artie Mays. These are from a freebie of hers. I will link this for you as well. Let's check the Inspire. Oh yeah, I like that. Of course, it is too white. So I'm gonna use my blending brush, and I will link these for you as well. They come in a set, and I'm gonna use my tea dye, Distress Oxide, to get rid of that white. The few times I have used these, because I'm pretty new to using these as well, they turn out to be really great for flat distressing. So if I would want to do the edges, I don't think these are great, but they are great for stenciling, and they are great for just going over something flat like this, because it has a very soft touch. And so now you see here, it's lost its stark whiteness. And there's our first little collage. I'm gonna do another one, and then we'll move on to the sewing paper. Washis are great for these. These doilies were from the June Your Creative Studio box. I can link those for you as well. They do sell out quite quickly. This is again just a stamped or two stamped images, and then a punch that I have on coffee dyed paper. This is again from the Artie Mays freebie. Okay, now I want to move on to the sewing paper. So we've done these 3. How fun. So for this I'm doing the same one. I just folded it and now I'm going to use my letter opener to just tear it. And here's my long strip. If you have any of these large washi rolls, I think this is the perfect opportunity to use them. I hardly ever use them, I must confess, but they're, I mean, for this, they are just fabulous. Because you have an instant background, perfect. They're just stamped images. I got these from Ray as well. Another fun thing to add is some stamping. So these stamps are all from the Your Creative Studio subscription boxes, and I'm going to use my Memento Espresso Truffle ink for this. This one was actually also from Your Creative Studio box. This is not sponsored by them, but Amanda comes up with really nice items to include in these boxes, and I find myself using them for all kinds of projects. Now that we have 3 of these fun strips to go, let's see what we can actually do with these. We take maybe this one. So I will just tear this off. Although it is fun to just hoard these. I will just ink up this edge. So many possibilities. You could take a big paper clip. It doesn't have to be as big as this, but if you have a big paper clip, you can just use some cardstock, slip it in between, glue this part on the back here, and you have a beautiful paper clip to add in your journal. You could just pop this onto a tag. It'll be a beautiful tag. You just add some nice twine or something on top, or another kind of topper, and you have a gorgeous tag. You can put it on a coin envelope. Great decoration. You can put it on a regular envelope. This one is obviously coffee dyed. You could just, let me just show you. So this is, let me just zoom you out. So this is my beautiful door journal from Allison. So if you have an envelope, let's just find a page. Here's an empty one. Okay, this envelope is a bit too big, but you will get the idea. So you have the envelope, you could just attach it, either you glue it here or you attach it with a paper clip, and you just add this as your decoration. Perfect, beautiful envelope. You can, this is a bit big, but if you maybe have a little smaller paper bag, or even like this, actually, why not? Put it on a paper bag. Another thing you can do is you can just add it as a tuck spot. You could either back it with some cardstock to make it more sturdy, and then it would be a cute little tuck spot. You could make it into like a tuck spot where you just glue it here, and then you could just slip something in like this. You could even make it into a belly band. You have a strip of paper, you glue it on, and you have a really cute belly band. So the possibilities are really endless. Your imagination is the only limit for this. So make these, have fun, play around. I warn you, it's addictive. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you want to see more, I have loads of more ideas coming for you. So thank you and love you guys. Mwah, mwah.